Sergeant Devin Blake stood in a straight line with 200 other human soldiers. He tried not to think about what would happen in 30 minutes. Soon, he would be connected forever to an alien partner. The military called it bioresonance matching. They said their computers picked the best matches for teamwork and long-term success. Every year, the coalition military held this bonding ceremony. It was required for all personnel since the interspecies military alliance started. Devin had spent 6 months listening to his friends talk about their future matches. Some were excited, some were nervous, but everyone accepted it. "The Liathi are supposed to be great partners," said Corporal Chun. He stood to Devin's left, fixing his dress uniform. His hands moved nervously, but his voice sounded excited. "They're polite, calm, and good at talking. My test scores said I'm really compatible with them." "Lucky you," Devin answered. He looked at his own report without much excitement. "My scores said I'm moderately compatible with almost everyone. That means I'm either really flexible or so boring that the computer can't find anything special about me." "Moderate compatibility isn't bad," Chin said. "You'll probably get someone steady and safe. That's better than getting matched with one of the crazy species." Devin nodded, but he had his doubts. He wondered if steady and safe was just a nice way of saying boring enough that you won't mind spending decades stuck with them. The bioresonance bonding system was supposed to make the coalition stronger. It created permanent brain connections between humans and aliens. The military said this made teamwork happen naturally, without needing to talk everything through. The ceremony started with lots of formal military stuff. Military groups always seemed to think fancy ceremonies made random partner assignments easier to accept. Coalition Commander Rodriguez gave a speech about unity, working together, and the special trust between bonded partners. Big holographic screens showed videos of past matches working together in perfect coordination. Corporal Chun announced the matching computer. Its voice sounded cheerful, like someone had programmed it to sound encouraging. "Your best match has been found. Please go to Bonding Station 7 to meet your partner." Chun smiled at Devin before walking toward his station. A calm Lirathi woman waited there. She looked peaceful and composed, exactly like the reports promised. Devin watched them greet each other formally. Their bio readings showed smooth connection. The holographic displays helpfully noted this was excellent compatibility for long-term success. One by one, Devin's fellow soldiers got called. Each was matched with partners who looked calm and stable. Their biosignatures were steady and predictable. The system seemed to be working exactly as planned. These were safe, reliable pairings that would make coalition operations stronger through partnerships that focused on teamwork without messy emotions getting in the way. "Sergeant Devin Blake," the computer finally announced. Devin walked toward his assigned bonding station. He felt resigned, like someone whose moderate scores meant he was about to meet the most average alien partner in the universe. The holographic displays flickered. Error messages started appearing on the screens. The pattern suggested the matching system was having serious technical problems. Override warnings flashed in many languages. Biosignature conflict alerts activated. The ceremonial chamber's lights switched to emergency backup power as the main systems seemed to be breaking down. "System problem detected," the computer announced, sounding much less cheerful now. "Biosignature matching is experiencing unusual interference. Attempting emergency repair." Devin stood at his bonding station, watching technicians rush around trying to fix whatever was wrong. That's when he saw her standing at the far end of the room. She was tall. Her pale skin seemed to absorb light instead of reflecting it. Pointed ears rose through midnight black hair. Glowing marks pulsed under her skin in patterns that his cultural database immediately identified as Velker clan symbols. The vampire species. These were the aliens that other coalition members whispered about. They had a reputation for wild power and unpredictable behavior. That's why they were kept in special operations instead of being mixed into standard coalition forces. Velker were feared, respected, and usually avoided by soldiers who wanted calm and manageable alien partners. Emergency override accepted. The computer announced as the displays stabilized. Alternate matching system activated. Sergeant Devin Blake, your best match has been identified through secondary analysis. Devin felt his stomach drop as the holographic displays highlighted the Velker woman. Her violet eyes were now fixed on him with an intensity that made his tactical training scream warnings about danger. This can't be right, Devin said, looking at the bio readings. They showed compatibility patterns nothing like the smooth connections he'd just witnessed. The system must still be broken. I'm supposed to be matched with someone normal. But the Velker woman moved toward him with the grace of a hunting cat. Every soldier in the chamber instinctively stepped back. Her glowing marks shifted to colors that Devin's incomplete cultural knowledge couldn't understand. When she reached his bonding station, she studied him with an expression that mixed satisfaction with what might have been amusement. The system didn't break, she said. Her voice had harmonics that made Devin's nervous system respond in ways his military training hadn't prepared him for. It revealed a truth that your compatibility computers were built to hide. And what truth is that? That you carry genetic markers from my clan's ancient bloodline. That your bioresonance patterns show you can handle bonds that would crush the normal partners you expected. And that our pairing was meant to happen by forces bigger than your artificial matching systems. Her smile had edges that suggested she found the whole situation entertaining. I am Lissa Velker, heir to clan leadership. And you, Sergeant Devin Blake, are mine. Before Devin could process the statement or check the emergency rules that surely covered what to do when the matching system pairs you with a terrifying alien vampire who claims you're destined for her, Lissa moved faster than his reflexes could track. Her hand gripped his arm. Her mouth went to his wrist. Pain mixed with feelings his nervous system had no way to understand as her bite sent something that felt like liquid fire straight into his blood. Glowing patterns started spreading from the bite wound. They looked like circuitry written in bioluminescent ink, crawling up his arm and across his chest. The ceremony's monitoring systems immediately flagged them as Velker clan marking. The soldiers around them backed away even more. Their expressions mixed shock with the kind of sympathy usually saved for casualties that couldn't be prevented. The mark, Lissa said with satisfaction, examining the pattern spreading across Devin's skin. You are now bound to me through a brain connection that cannot be broken by your military's partnership rules or your personal preferences about normal matches. Devin looked at the glowing patterns, then at the alien woman whose bite had apparently married him to the most volatile species in the coalition, then at his commanding officers. Their expressions suggested they were already calculating how to handle the diplomatic incident their matching system had just created. So, Devin said weakly, trying to stay composed while his nervous system processed whatever Lissa's mark was doing to his body. I'm guessing this isn't covered in the standard partnership training materials. Standard training is for calm matches with steady partners, Lissa replied. Her glowing marks pulsed with patterns that might have been amusement. You have been marked by a Velker clan heir. Your training will be much more intense. As medical staff rushed forward with scanners and commanding officers started urgent discussions about rule violations and security problems, Devin realized that his hope of getting a normal, manageable alien partner had just been completely and permanently destroyed. The question was whether intense meant interesting or catastrophic, and whether he'd survive long enough to figure out the difference. The medical bay was designed to handle standard bonding aftercare. It monitored bioresonance connection, managed mild brain adjustment symptoms, and provided counseling for partners who needed help adapting to their new connections. It was not designed to handle a human soldier whose nervous system was being completely rewritten by Velker clan marking that made standard bonding look like child's play. Your brain patterns are unlike anything we've seen, Dr. Sarah Martinez reported, studying medical scans that showed Devon's body transforming in real time. The mark is combining with your nervous system at the cellular level. It's encoding genetic information, improving your reflexes, and creating permanent brain pathways that link directly to your partner's mind. When you say permanent, how permanent are we talking? Devon asked, watching glowing patterns continue spreading across his skin. The designs seemed to be both biological change and artistic statement. The kind of permanent that makes "until death do you part" look like a casual arrangement. Dr. Martinez replied with the brutal honesty that medical staff developed after dealing with too many impossible situations. Velker marking creates bonds that can't be broken, hidden, or ignored. Your brain connected to Lissa Velker in ways that go far beyond anything our standard partnership rules create. Lissa entered the medical bay with the kind of presence that made everyone else in the room suddenly remember they had urgent business elsewhere. She sat in the chair beside Devon's medical bed with casual possessiveness that suggested she'd already claimed this space as her territory. "The medical staff is worried about how strong the bond is," she observed, looking at the monitoring displays with interest. "They think Velker marking is dangerous, unpredictable, possibly harmful to human biology." "Is it?" Devon asked, noticing that the mark was giving him awareness of Lissa's emotional state. Amusement mixed with something that might have been affection, though the emotional echo was much more complex than simple feelings. "Velker bonds are strong because we don't believe in the artificial calm your species calls compatibility. We look for partners strong enough to handle real connection instead of managed relationships designed to avoid messy passion." Her glowing marks shifted to patterns that Devon's improved senses were beginning to read as emotional signals. The mark gives you better abilities, faster reflexes, improved senses, access to genetic records. But it also creates permanent brain synchronization that allows no lies between bonded partners. "So I can sense your emotions?" "You can sense everything. My thoughts, my feelings, my intentions, my physical state. And I can sense yours equally clearly." Lissa's expression grew serious. "Velker bonding reveals truth that calm partnerships are built to hide. You will know when I am angry, scared, excited, or affectionate. And I will know the same about you. There is no privacy in Velker marking, only complete honesty." Devon accessed the bond connection, feeling the truth of her words as emotional echo flooded his awareness. He could sense her real regard for him beneath the fierce exterior, her strategic thinking about how their bond would affect clan politics, and her uncertainty about whether he would accept a partnership that demanded such complete openness. The other soldiers got calm Lyrathai partners who talk through careful diplomacy and controlled emotions, Devon said slowly. "You're telling me that Velker bonding is the opposite of that. Velker bonding is honest instead of managed, passionate instead of calm, and strong enough to handle the kind of truth that destroys relationships built on comfortable lies." Lissa touched the mark on his arm, her fingers tracing the glowing patterns. "Your compatibility scores showed moderate matches with everyone because you have rare genetic markers that allow bonding with species your military thinks are too wild for standard partnerships. And you chose to mark me because I have been watching you for 6 months, watching how you handle tactical situations, noticing that your responses focus on real effectiveness over political convenience, and recognizing that you have character strong enough to partner with someone whose intensity scares your commanding officers." Her honesty echoed through the bond with weight that went beyond simple explanation. "Also, because you carry genetic markers showing descent from bloodlines that merged with my clan centuries ago, before your species forgot that real partnership requires accepting wildness alongside stability. Before Devon could fully process this information, Coalition Commander Rodriguez entered the medical bay with an expression that suggested he was about to deliver news that would require lots of paperwork and possibly court-martial proceedings. Sergeant Blake, Commander Rodriguez began with careful formality. The Coalition Command has reviewed your bonding situation. The Velker marking represents major security concerns that our standard partnership rules were specifically designed to prevent. Security concerns? Devon felt Lissa's emotional response through the bond. Anger mixed with contempt for political maneuvering that put control over effectiveness. Velker bonds create brain connections that could compromise your judgment, loyalty, and tactical decision-making. Command recommends that you undergo medical procedures designed to suppress the mark's effects until removal methods can be developed. And if such methods can't be developed, then you will be moved to non-combat duties pending evaluation of whether Velker influence has compromised your fitness for military service. Commander Rodriguez's expression suggested this was non-negotiable military policy rather than personal preference. The coalition cannot allow partnerships that focus on intensity over stability to operate in sensitive military operations. Lissa stood. Her glowing marks shifted to patterns that Devon's improved senses recognized as barely controlled fury. You fear Velker bonds because they reveal truths your calm partnerships are built to hide. That your stable matches fail to detect conspiracies. That your diplomatic partners miss threats that wild awareness would catch. And that your entire partnership system has been compromised by those who profit from keeping coalition forces predictably manageable. That's a serious accusation, Commander Rodriguez replied carefully. It's truth encoded in genetic records that my mark has given Devon access to. Lissa activated holographic displays showing data streams that made Devon's improved awareness suddenly flood with information about systematic manipulation of coalition bonding systems. The matching system was designed to prevent Velker partnerships specifically because our intensity makes us difficult to control through normal political channels. Devon accessed the archive data through the mark. His improved senses processed information about a conspiracy that went far beyond simple partnership policy. The bonding system isn't just pairing people for compatibility. It's systematically preventing partnerships that would be too good at detecting the kind of corruption that's been damaging coalition operations. Those are classified records, Commander Rodriguez said sharply. How do you have access to that information? Because Velker marking gives access to genetic records that your command has been trying to hide, Lissa replied with satisfaction. My unpredictable bonding choice has created exactly the kind of partnership that threatens the comfortable corruption your system was built to protect. As medical alarms started showing that Devon's improved abilities were triggering security rules and command staff began urgent discussions about containing what was clearly becoming a much bigger problem than simple partnership mismatch. Devon realized that his wild alien vampire partner had just revealed that everyone else's normal matches were actually the problem. The question was whether he was brave enough to accept the chaos that came with real partnership, or whether he'd choose the comfortable suppression that command was offering as an alternative to truth that threatened the entire coalition structure. Devon's decision to refuse the mark suppression procedures made him officially under investigation for compromised judgment due to volatile bond influence. This sounded much more dramatic than simply choosing to trust his terrifying alien partner over comfortable lies. The secure briefing room where he and Lissa had been locked up while command decided what to do with them gave uncomfortable privacy for conversations that their bond made both easier and harder than normal talking. The records you've accessed through the mark, Devon said, reviewing data streams that showed systematic manipulation of coalition bonding systems. They show that the matching system has been deliberately preventing effective partnerships for over 10 years. That the system was designed by consultants who profit from keeping the coalition weak. Correct, Lissa confirmed. Her glowing marks pulsed with patterns that showed controlled anger. Velker were kept out of standard bonding because our intensity makes us difficult to control through normal political channels. Our partnerships detect lies, expose corruption, and work with effectiveness that threatens comfortable incompetence. Devon studied the conspiracy evidence, noting that the calm Lyrathi partnerships his friends had received were actually designed to create manageable teams that would miss the very threats they were supposed to detect. So everyone got paired with steady, reliable partners who won't notice when their missions are being systematically sabotaged. While we got each other, a pairing that your command sees as dangerous wildness, but which actually represents the kind of real effectiveness that threatens those who profit from coalition failure. Exactly. Lissa's tone carried satisfaction despite the circumstances. Your moderate compatibility scores existed because your genetic markers show capacity for bonds that most humans cannot handle. The system tried to hide you among average matches, but fate stepped in. Fate or you deliberately breaking the ceremony to force recognition of our connection? Why not both? Her smile had edges that suggested she found his suspicion entertaining. I watched you for months, recognized your potential for real partnership, and made sure that the matching system couldn't hide our connection through its comfortable lies about compatibility. Through their bond, Devon could sense the truth of her words. She had indeed broken the ceremony, but her reasons were more complex than simple political games. Lissa genuinely believed their partnership could expose corruption while proving that Velker intensity gave tactical advantages that went beyond the safe matches other soldiers got. The evidence we've accessed, Devon said, highlighting parts of the records that showed money connections between bonding system consultants and defense contractors. It proves that coalition weakness has been deliberately kept going to justify increased military spending on equipment that makes up for partnerships designed to fail. And our bond threatens to expose the whole system by showing that wild partnerships are actually more effective than calm ones. Lissa pulled up more archive data showing Velker combat performance records. My clan's reputation for unpredictability is deliberate propaganda. We're not wild and dangerous. We're intensely focused, brutally honest, and effective enough that those who profit from failure want us kept away from coalition operations. So the wild alien vampire reputation is actually tactical skill that threatens comfortable corruption? Exactly. And your willingness to partner with me despite that reputation shows character strong enough to handle truth that most prefer to avoid. Their planning was interrupted when the briefing room security systems activated with urgent alerts. Unauthorized access detected, announced the facility computer. Multiple hostile signatures approaching containment area. Defense protocols recommend immediate evacuation. Devon's improved reflexes, thanks to the mark, detected the approaching threats before standard sensors picked them up. Assassination team. 8 hostiles with military-grade equipment moving to kill us before we can show the archive evidence. They're not trying to hide information, Lissa observed. Her combat instincts analyzed the attack patterns through their shared tactical awareness. They're trying to eliminate witnesses before the evidence can be formally recorded. The bond's brain synchronization allowed coordination that went beyond anything Devon's military training had prepared him for. He could sense Lissa's combat plans before she moved, predict her tactical decisions through shared awareness that made talking unnecessary, and combine his human weapons training with her Velker improved abilities in ways that created partnership far more effective than the comm matches his friends received. The wildness that command fears, Devon realized as they moved into defensive positions with perfectly synchronized coordination. It's actually tactical synchronization that works faster than normal talking allows. Correct. Lissa's satisfaction echoed through their connection. Velker intensity creates bonds so brain-integrated that partners work as unified systems rather than coordinated individuals. This is why Command wanted to suppress our mark. Not because it's dangerous, but because it's too good at exposing the comfortable failure they've been maintaining. The battle that followed showed exactly why Velker partnerships had been systematically kept out of coalition operations. Devon and Lissa moved as a single tactical unit. Their shared awareness allowed defensive coordination that predicted enemy movements before they happened. What Command had feared as dangerous unpredictability was actually precision synchronization that worked at instinctive levels normal partnerships couldn't reach. All hostiles secured, Devon reported as the last assassination team member was captured. And we've documented evidence that Coalition Command authorized the attack to prevent exposure of the bonding system corruption. But more importantly, Lissa added, accessing communication intercepts through the archives. We've proven that wild partnerships are more effective than calm ones at handling exactly the kind of threats the matching system was supposedly designed to detect. As emergency response teams arrived to secure the captured assassination team, whose equipment and authorization codes gave undeniable proof of high-level conspiracy, Devon realized that his wild partnership with Lissa had done more in 3 days than years of steady matches had achieved. The question was whether Coalition Command would accept that truth or whether they'd double down on hiding partnerships that threatened their comfortable failure. The formal inquiry into the assassination attempt happened in Coalition Headquarters' main tribunal chamber. Representatives from all member species watched as Devon and Lissa showed evidence that the bonding system had been deliberately designed to prevent effective partnerships. Commander Rodriguez sat among the tribunal members with an expression suggesting he was watching the destruction of systems he'd helped build. Velker clan representatives watched with obvious satisfaction as their unpredictable reputation was systematically rewritten into tactical superiority. The matching protocols, Devon testified, accessing archive data through his improved awareness, were designed by consultants who profit from keeping the coalition weak. Every comm partnership creates manageable teams that miss threats that wild bonds would detect immediately. And Sergeant Blake's bond with Air Velker, asked Elder Counselor Thane, one of the tribunal's neutral judges, represents the kind of wild partnership that these consultants wanted to prevent? Our bond, Lissa replied, her glowing marks pulsing with patterns that the tribunal's cultural experts were frantically trying to understand, shows that Velker intensity creates tactical synchronization better than calm matches. What Coalition Command calls dangerous unpredictability is actually improved coordination that works through brain connection rather than managed communication. The tribunal reviewed combat footage from the assassination attempt, watching Devon and Lissa coordinate with precision that made standard partnership rules look painfully inadequate. Their synchronized movements, shared tactical awareness, and instinctive coordination showed abilities that comm matches couldn't approach. The evidence suggests, Elder Counselor Thane concluded after hours of testimony, that the Coalition's bonding system has been systematically preventing the most effective partnerships in favor of manageable matches that serve consultant profits rather than operational effectiveness. Which is why, Devon added, Velker were kept out of standard bonding, not because they're dangerous, but because their effectiveness threatens comfortable corruption. The tribunal's decision came after 3 days of thinking that required reviewing decades of bonding system records, talking with partnership experts from many species, and accepting that the entire coalition structure had been compromised by consultants who benefited from keeping things broken. The matching protocols are suspended immediately pending complete system redesign, Elder Counselor Thane announced. Velker partnerships will be integrated into standard operations, and all existing bonds will be re-evaluated for effectiveness rather than comfort. 6 months later, Devon found himself giving partnership integration briefings from his office in the newly created Coalition Bonding Reform Commission. This was a joint authority made specifically to redesign matching systems around effectiveness rather than manageability. His position as Velker Human Integration Specialist combined his tactical knowledge with his authority as Lissa's bonded partner, showing that wild matches could give a template for better coalition operations. The reform is doing better than expected, Lissa reported, entering his office with documents showing successful Velker partnership integration throughout coalition forces. Apparently, when soldiers are allowed to form real bonds instead of managed relationships, their effectiveness increases dramatically. Who would have thought that honest intensity works better than comfortable lies? Devon accessed their bond connection, feeling her satisfaction with the progress mixed with affection that had grown deeper alongside their partnership. Though I have to admit, I'm still getting used to being the example everyone points to when talking about effective wild partnerships. You mean you're getting used to being bonded with the wild alien vampire who turned out to be more tactically skilled than all those calm Lyrathai matches your friends received? That too, though the wild reputation is much less accurate than the brilliantly strategic reality that our bond keeps showing. Devon looked at her, noting how the mark had made her thoughts and feelings as clear as his own. Any regrets about choosing me as your bonding partner? Only that it took a ceremony breakdown and conspiracy exposure to meet someone whose character was strong enough to handle partnership that your command thought was too wild for military operations. Lissa's marks pulsed with patterns that showed contentment. Though I prefer to think of it as fate making sure you couldn't be hidden among average matches. Fate or deliberate manipulation of the matching system? Why not both? Her smile carried warmth that their bond made undeniable. I manipulated the ceremony to force recognition of our connection, but fate gave someone whose genetic markers and moral character made him worthy of partnership that most humans fear. Devon looked at partnership integration reports showing that Velker bonds were becoming the new standard for coalition operations. Their intensity and effectiveness were replacing the calm matches that had allowed decades of failure. Sometimes I think the most important thing we've done isn't reforming the bonding system or exposing the conspiracy. It's proving that the wildest partnerships are often the ones stable enough to handle truth that comfortable matches were built to avoid. The bond makes comfortable lies impossible, Lissa observed. Their shared awareness echoed with truth that went beyond normal talking. When partners can sense each other's thoughts and emotions with complete honesty, lies become pointless and real connection becomes inevitable. Is that what we have? Inevitable connection forced by brain synchronization. We have what started as my calculated gamble to expose coalition corruption and grew into the kind of partnership that makes individual consciousness seem incomplete. Her honesty echoed through the bond with weight that made her sincerity undeniable. The mark didn't force affection. It revealed affection that was growing despite impossible circumstances and wild reputation that was supposed to prevent exactly this kind of real connection. As they worked through evening coordination of partnership reform projects, a practice that strengthened their bond while showing the effectiveness of wild matches to coalition staff still learning to trust intensity over comfort, Devon thought about the journey from expecting normal calm partnership to accepting chaos that had become his life. Everyone else got steady Lyrathai partners who talk through careful diplomacy, he said, accessing their shared consciousness with gratitude that transcended simple words. I got you. The wild alien vampire who turned normal into the most dangerous word in my vocabulary. And I wouldn't change a single moment of it.